Good afternoon. School campuses in San Bernardino County remain quiet, but not for long. Our school districts are hard at work planning the safe return of students and staff following guidance from state and local public health officials. As a former school site administrator, I understand the extensive logistics that must be carefully coordinated to keep students learning healthy and well. I applaud the tremendous work being done by our education community during these challenging times. Yesterday, I joined a panel of educators to discuss the reopening of our schools in a webinar facilitated by the University of Redlands. There was great dialogue about how our public schools can reopen safely for the start of the academic year, and what instructional plans districts are working on now to be ready when students return. We also are intently focused on our school budgets for the upcoming academic year. Governor Newsom announced on Monday that agreements had been made to preserve funding for K-12 schools to reopen in the fall. To address learning loss during school closures and ease reopening costs, the governor agreed to increase one-time federal funds to support education from $6 to $7 billion. Receipt of learning loss mitigation funds are contingent upon district adoption of a learning continuity and attendance plan. Additional accountability requirements for distance learning include procedures for re-engaging absent students and providing academic supports for English learners and students who have fallen behind in their academic progress. Ensuring teachers interact live daily to instruct, monitor progress, and maintain connections is another requirement aimed to offset learning loss. While the avoidance of major cuts to K-12 funding is good news, there are still challenges ahead. The budget includes very large deferrals of school funding that may be partially reduced if additional federal funds become available. The budget is scheduled to be finalized by July 1st. Prompted by the recent civil unrest over systemic racism within our country, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurman announced a series of ethnic studies webinars for families, students, and teachers that highlight the significance of historical contributions made by people of color. In our county, the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors cast an historic 5-0 vote on June 23rd, declaring racism a public health crisis in San Bernardino County. They also plan to create an equity element group that is expected to include county experts in such areas as education and health. We look forward to our continued partnership and work together to transform lives through education. Our office hosted a watershed moment, policing, protesting, and perspective webinar on June 25th. And with over 340 participants in attendance, the event featured panelists from education, law enforcement, school safety, and counseling. It was an open dialogue exploring diverse perspectives that focused on compassion, empathy, and our shared humanity. As a society, we want to aspire to provide equitable outcomes for all, regardless of race. I'm inspired by the work being done in our diverse county and school communities to effect change that will outlast the COVID-19 pandemic. We are all working together to turn these challenging times into a brighter future for all. Thank you, and be well.